Okay.
At a time when our planet and humanity is being deeply challenged, having a sense of community and support is imperative. But together, we can and will individually raise our consciousness, which will lead to communally raising it, and ultimately raise the consciousness of this planet. So tonight, please bring your feelings in the comments.
Hi, welcome
Hi.
to Bring Your Feelings. Hi, Meg.
Hello, Miriam.
So, this is a space where together we can express, we can connect, and we can support each other at a time when our planet and humanity is being deeply challenged. So, tonight we're going to invite you to please share how you're feeling and or how we can support you in the comments. My name is Miriam. I'm a psychic medium. I'm a teacher of spirituality. Meet Meg Harrell, a nurse and a travel and lifestyle creator with a passion for helping others and storytelling. Meg inspires her communities of over 1 million to embrace resilience, joy, and adventure in every day. Links to all of our socials are down in the description if you are new to either one of our pages. So, to get started tonight, we want you to share with us in the comments 2 words describing how you're feeling tonight. I will start, and I didn't prep for this, so I am on the fly just like everybody else. 2 words. Is overwhelmed 1 word or 2?
It's a compound word.
Can I get away with it being 2
Yes.
words? Let's
Yeah,
go
because you
for
can't just
me.
be over. Like if someone's like, "How are you?" Over, you'd be like, "I need another half of that word."
So for me, we're going to agree I'm overwhelmed tonight. Meg, what do you got?
I think feeling a little bit of fear and uncertainty today.
Fear and uncertainty. Hi Chris. I feel like I let fear control my life and I really want to start living not just for me but for my son. So I recently just started to deal with my addiction. It's been like 2 weeks on my own. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Wow.
And I've been trying to get into meditation, especially yours, Miriam. Well, who else is? But I'm having trouble with complete focus, maybe because of ADHD, not sure. But if you have suggestions that can help, I would really appreciate it. Sorry for the novel, but really need a little guidance. That's why we're here. That's
Please
why
write a
we're doing
novel. I want to read the novel.
this. Listen, Chris, I'm about to give you a mind bender. Nobody can focus in meditation. That's why we meditate. Even people who have been meditating, gurus who have been meditating for 30, 40, I don't know how old they are, years, they meditate to be able to focus, to be able to balance, to be able to find peace. So, all of us, gurus included, when they sit on that mat, this thing is going crazy. When they sit on that mat, the mind's going, the emotions are going. That's why we meditate. So, people have been saying forever, I don't meditate because my mind is too crazy. It's too talkative. Of course it is. That's the mind's job. It's the mind's job to talk, to remember, to feel. I don't know. Nurse Meg might be like, feelings don't come from the brain. So, it is the mind's job to do all of that. Allow the mind to be what it is. It's a talker. It's a memory recall. When we are accepting of that, when we are just like, "Oh, it's doing its job. That's right." Everything else is easier. Meditation is hard. It's hard. So I tell people 60 seconds is what you start with. Set your alarm for 60 seconds and you sit on the mat for 60 seconds. You can put on meditation music. Don't sit in silence, that's even harder. Put on meditation music. You can even do 60 seconds of yoga movement. And when that alarm goes off, you get to choose. Okay, that's all I want to do today. I'm done. Fine. And you might do 60 seconds for the next year, 10 years, 20 years, 6 months, doesn't matter. Or you might say, this is feeling nice. I'm going to do 60 more seconds. 60 seconds we can do. And when you know that alarm is set for 60 seconds, you allow yourself to take a breath. During those 60 seconds, the mind is going to talk. It's going to do memory recall. It's going to do what it does. Let it. Just let it. I use the example of you're sitting on a park bench and there's a little kid, a toddler next to you, and they're squirming and talking and doing their stuff. Just let it. It's fine. Just let it. You don't need to engage with the toddler.
I love that. Yeah. I definitely relate to that, Chris, like that fear, that like feeling lost, because I feel like those are kind of the same, where you're just feeling really scared of past, future, not in the present, and then you feel lost. Like what's next? That's exactly my week too, Chris. So maybe we're the same. I bet you we have some similar signs going on. But I think what helps is like, okay, we have to not think in the past, not think to the future, because we're not in any of those places. And then like identify what you're scared of. Like, what are you afraid of? And I can list out like the top 3 things of what I'm afraid of. And then what can you control and make it consumable? Like you can control that effort towards meditation, doing just a minute, 60 seconds a day. That's something that you can control. And then remember, your thoughts are not always reality. Sometimes our thoughts are interpretation, and they're kind of painted with our fears, painted with our trauma, painted with like all of the doom thinking of like, what if, and to get out of that, I feel like focusing on what I'm grateful for now around me helps me to get out of the what if, because this week was very spirally with the what ifs, and I'm like, okay, let me just focus. I have a computer that I can work on. My computer died this week and I had to buy a new one. I was so mad. But I have a computer right now that I can work on and connect with others. I'm fairly healthy right now, and I have my health, and I have a place to sleep tonight. And so do my kids. And I have food. We had dinner. I have food in my fridge. Focusing on like what you can be grateful for now kind of brings you out of that past and future lost feeling. At least it does for me.
And Chris, this is something we all have to do, sometimes hourly, sometimes daily. You are not alone in feeling these feelings. Like, we can share advice, but what we want to create here is a community to say, listen, we go through this too. Like, we have to remind ourselves, each other, of this too. And some days you just don't have it in you to do it, right? To do the work that you can do to calm the fears or calm the chaos. And then sometimes you have the energy to do it, and the more you find the energy to do it, the more you sort of, I don't want to use the word force yourself, but encourage yourself to go, I have the tools to pull myself out of this dark spot. The more you encourage yourself to use those tools, the easier it will get to pull yourself out of the dark spot. But it's quicksand to start for all of us.
Yeah.
And so it's like Meg was saying, like, some days, I'm sure, Meg, it's easy for you, and some days you're like, I'm having a hard day, but I was able to pull myself out. And let's be clear, we're not saying pull yourself out of a hard day by feeling happy and putting a smile on your face. We're saying,
fake it.
right, we're saying pull yourself out so you don't go deeper. Pull yourself out so you're above water. Not so you got this big smile on your face. Not that.
No, the faking it or keeping calm, carry on is not the goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Fear comes up everywhere in my life, financial life in general. Now I even have social anxiety, but more of the unknown. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. absolutely. Finances are safety. And I very much relate to that this month of like, oh, like the fear of the what ifs, but I can't really change what's going to happen next month. I can only focus on right now, this next 24 hours, this next week. I can't really look past that right now or plan past that right now. And then the unknown doesn't exist.
I think to go back to what Meg was saying too, if you can, Chris, if you can kind of hear this for a minute, I'm going to go a little bit deeper for a sec. But when we talk about gratitude and how Meg was saying gratitude brings you into the present, okay? And when you are able to be in gratitude for, like right now, you could find 3 things to be grateful for. Most probably you're healthy. Like Meg said, you have food in the fridge. But what the point is, when you find 3 things to be grateful for, you're pulling yourself into the present moment. When you're in the present moment, this is where solution arises. This is where intuition can play a part. But if you're in the past or you're in the future, now the anxiety takes over. But when you can do things to pull yourself present, gratitude and meditation, exercise, yoga, walking, when you can bring yourself here, this is when solution shows itself. So that is one way to dedicate yourself to hour gratitude, to meditation on a regular basis. And honestly, I sometimes meditation has to happen 3 times a day, 4 times a day. Sometimes it just does. And sometimes you're having a good day and you only need it once. There's no rules. Like there's not this rule that, which I used to think there was. I used to think like you should wake up, meditate, and you're good to go in the day. Like you should be able to handle the day with a smile on your face and everything flows and we're going with the flow and we're really happy with going with the flow. No. Sometimes your meditation will last you a few hours and sometimes it'll last you. Like when I was working corporate, I would meditate in the morning and I'm not joking. I would walk into work and within 20 minutes, it was like, you would think I never even meditated. I was just like, I'm gonna fucking yell at everybody. And so I had to quietly go to my office and pull myself together. But pulling myself together was a little bit easier because I had my meditation practice. That foundation was set. So when I have to pull myself out of that spiral, I'm not all the way down in the ground. I'm still above water. So I can more easily pull myself out of that spiral, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And then Violet had 2 words that she put in the comments.
Ooh, Meg, I'm going to look to your brain for the non-consequential one.
Ooh, I want to know exactly what she meant by that, because frustrated feels like you can't control anything and you're hitting a wall and things aren't going the way that you want. But then like the non-consequential, I'd love to hear if Violet is still here, like what she meant by that.
Violet, you're up. We'll give you a sec.
Because it's also like a feeling, like what exactly do you mean?
Okay. I'll answer this real quick. You should get, we're spiritual beings first, Chris. We're spiritual beings that enter a physical body. So you should want to get into the spiritual side of things, whatever that means for you, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah. Amen. So frustrated and non-consequential. Let's talk about maybe what Violet meant by those 2 words. So frustrated is like, I'm not getting the result I want. I'm hitting a wall. My power is gone. And then non-consequential to me, when I hear that word, I think like, oh, it doesn't even matter. Like I can't even change the outcome. I can't even have any effect on this. And I feel like that's something, especially as women, that we take on, that we release our power, but we do have so much more power. We're more powerful than we realize.
Mm.
Oh, wait, Violet answered. But it doesn't change anything. Ooh, okay. I feel like I can relate to that, especially in the last year. And I had to have a really close friend of mine be like, look how you just answered that text from your co-parent. Look how you're like not having these symptoms that you used to have. She's like, there is progress. You're being too hard on yourself. You think you have to be like this, like perfect human being. But the fact that you're making any effort to sacrifice for your kids, love your body, make good choices that doesn't harm others, it does make a huge difference. Maybe,
And I think, nope, go ahead, Meg. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, maybe be kinder to yourself.
100%. And what I heard you say also, Meg, was that your results were subtle. And Violet, we all, when we start on this path of eating right, meditation, all of this stuff, we're expecting, whether we realize it or not, whether we're in denial of it or not, we're expecting some big result to happen. But just like Meg said, it's subtle. Like she didn't realize, but her friend noticed, look at how you're responding differently, calmer, clearer in that moment. I'm not saying every moment. I'm saying you are now having moments of calmness and clarity where you normally wouldn't have. But it was so subtle because I'm talking to you right now, Meg, to help Violet understand it. It was so subtle, and we're always on to the next moment, right? We're always on to the next thing, especially Meg, you have kids, so your focus is always on to that. So it was beautiful that you had a friend go, hang on, pulled you into the present, almost if we go back to that gratitude moment, she pulled you into gratitude for a moment and said, wait a minute, look what you're doing, right? And in that moment, Meg was able to feel that gratitude, but it was subtle. And Violet, I promise you, it's happening for you too, but it's subtle. Listen, the noise on the planet is loud. And in order for us to hear ourselves and our intuition and our family and our friends and everything through the noise of the planet is incredibly difficult. It takes time. I promise you, there have been moments that you have had that you managed a little bit easier than you normally would have.
Yeah, imagine yourself like Violet 5 years ago, talking to Violet now, or even just observing Violet now. Like, how proud would that version of yourself be that you're making efforts, and maybe that 5 years ago Violet would be like, wow, there is a lot of change happening.
That's a great point. That's a great way to see it, Violet. To be able to compare if you don't have someone that can sort of call it out in the moment, right? To compare what you would have been, how you would have maybe been behaving, we could say that. But the subtlety doesn't feel like enough. Meg, you were just saying.
Who are you supposed to be except the version of yourself right now? There's no greater, perfecter version. The effort is enough. The small steps are enough. You are enough. You're not supposed to be. I think it's really easy to compare ourselves because we have access to so many different versions of people with social media, the internet, or even just how people present themselves. And not all of it is real or, reality. So the subtlety is definitely enough. Whoever you think you're supposed to be, this more advanced or further version of yourself right here now, September 30th, 2025, making all of the efforts, that's enough.
Can I be morbid for a sec?
Yeah.
It might not be the best way to describe it, but sometimes I'm kind of an extremist, I guess. But Violet, if you were to pass away tomorrow, would any of this stuff that you feel like you're not enough matters? Or
Mm.
or look at someone you love dearly, and if they were to pass tomorrow, would you have said, you should have taken that promotion you were given? Would you be at their funeral saying they should have married that guy that they were talking to, and I told them they should have gone for that. They should have been, making more money by the time that they passed. How come they were still in an apartment and not in a house? Like, would anyone be saying that stuff?
No.
Because none of it matters in that moment. When someone you love dearly has passed, you aren't thinking they should have made more money or lived in a house or bought this or did it. No, you're just thinking they were so good to me.
Yeah,
I loved them.
Wow.
But then turn that on you. Let me just give you a quick a moment. I was talking to a friend and she was saying, so like she's 60, she's pushing 70 and looks amazing, but her sister and some other people keep going like, you have over the years have been saying she needs to fix her eyes, and her eyes look fine.
Oh.
And I finally said to her, I said, if you die tomorrow, do you think your sister, and if she does, then we have a bigger problem, do you think anyone's going to say at your funeral she should have fixed her eyes?
I mean, looking into the casket, if only she had a blepharoplasty,
That's something you watch on a sitcom and laugh your ass off at, right?
Yes, that's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm moment.
Yes.
No.
Yes. It doesn't happen, but to my friend, she believed that was consuming her, that she should fix her eyes. And I finally was like, shut up. Because if tomorrow you died, no one would be saying you should have fixed your eyes.
No.
And it might be extreme, but I don't know, Meg, tell me. I feel like sometimes we need to go to that place and just go, stop. Stop it.
I think we all need to zoom out. I think I need to zoom out sometimes and be like, oh, I'm getting stuck on the details. I was just tutoring someone today and I was teaching them how to read these test questions properly, these in like nursing school kind of stuff. And she would get hung up on like one little detail. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not what the question is really asking. I was like, zoom out and try to see everything as a whole big picture. And yeah, I feel like I do that a lot in life, right? Hone in on like this one little detail that I don't like. And I just wish I could change it. And I feel like it's futile and I can't fix it. And why don't I have enough power to fix it? And other people's influence are there. But in the grand scheme of things, like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm safe. And I'm okay. And I don't need to dwell on some of that.
I think one way I can relate to that, Violet, too, is, I'm in Los Angeles, and Bruce and I, my husband, we've been in an apartment for 25 years, and we would love to be in a house because we have animals, and we would love to, and we thought 25 years later, we would like, we met 25 years ago, and you're thinking, oh, well, we'll be in a house by the time we're in our 50s and 60s. Like, but okay, we're not. And I've had moments over the last few years of that, of like, like I need more space and we need this, we need that. And then when I go to sleep at night, I'm like, I just am grateful to have him and these animals next to me. I don't care if it's in a car. And that is the truth of how I feel. But sometimes I get that anxiousness of wanting more, needing more, should have, by now you should have, and I get caught up in that too. And I just drill down into saying, if I lost any one of these animals or humans in my life, I would be destroyed. And I would say, all I want is for them to be back. I don't care if we're in a studio apartment.
Yeah.
And that brings me back to reality, because that is reality.
Yeah, that timeline, the timeline in my brain, like I separated from my husband last May of 2024. And I was like, oh, by the end of 2024, I'll be divorced for sure. It'll be final. Everything will be so easy. And then I'll get out of this little apartment, this little 1-bedroom apartment with the kids sleeping in the bedroom. I'm sleeping on this couch. Like, it's just temporary. Over a year later, none of that happened. And
Mm.
so many other complications happened. And it was like that futile, that same feeling that Violet was talking about, or somebody else was talking about. It was Chris or it was Violet talking about those words where it was like, oh, it's so futile. Why can't I fix this? Why can't I change this? But for some reason, the timeline is not exactly what I envisioned. And I'm sure there's something being lined up, and maybe it has to do with the kids and their own mental stability and where they need to be. And maybe it's their schools, and maybe it's other things that I'll look back in 10 years and be like, oh, thank God that everything lined up
Mm-hmm.
exactly how it was supposed to.
And I can tell you, I'm 51, and I can say 99.9% when I look back on my life and all the things that didn't work out, and there are more things that didn't work out than did, because I think that's just how life is for everyone. Um, I can genuinely see how, had that worked out for me, it it would have ultimately caused more chaos than what I had wanted.
Hmm.
Is what I'm trying to say. So, and I, and I think because of my meditation practice, I can look back and I can see the zoomed out version, like you keep saying, Meg. Like I can see the zoomed out version. Like I can look, if I want to, I could go back and say, no, how come none of this makes any sense? Like I wrote a children's book about my Daisy, who was my dog Daisy, who was born deaf and blind. I wrote a children's book, and I really thought that that thing was going to fly off the shelf, and it didn't. And I could look back and go, it should have. Like but from a zoomed out perspective, and because of my practice, there's a sense of no, I understand why that went the way it did. And I genuinely can do that with every situation. And I say that because when Meg says things are lining up for a certain way, in a certain way for a certain reason, it's true.
Yeah.
And when you're in your 50s, you can honestly say, I've seen all these situations that I've put so much time and energy into, and why didn't they work? I understand why they didn't
Hmm.
work. And sometimes they didn't work because I didn't do it right. Because I didn't do what I thought I didn't do what I thought I was doing, or I wasn't, whatever it might be. But I'm also able to go, oh yeah, I probably should have done A, B, or C. I didn't, maybe out of fear. Maybe probably out of fear. That's really why we don't do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I say that just so hopefully, those that are younger than me understand that you're going to have more situations not work out than work out. Not because life sucks and is mean and is hard, but because if you are taking chances in life, you are going to take chances and go, oh, that didn't work, so let me try this. That didn't work, so let me try this. So you need to take chances, and you need to let things not work so you can find what does work. And like what
And
Meg
not
is
hold it
saying,
against yourself, because that's what I
yes.
used to do.
So, I mean, right? Because all that does is hold you in place. All that does is hold you in that moment, and you're not. Forgiveness is giving yourself forward to the next moment. So, in order to give yourself forward to the next moment, you have to forgive yourself. Meg saying, you're saying you were giving yourself a hard time about it, not forgiving yourself. So you're holding yourself in that moment.
Yeah, I'd love to talk more about meditation because I feel like that's not something that I'm very diligent in. It's something that I'll do once in a while. I do some like chants and scripting in the morning, but I'd love to talk more about the meditation and how you teach it and how you suggest that people use meditation.
Yeah. And one more, really quick, I didn't mention, if you guys are watching on Instagram, unfortunately, we can't see your comments. So jump over onto Meg's page or my page on YouTube, so we can see if you have comments, or you want to jump into the conversation. And we can take a sec to go look over there to see if anyone has any comments on my end. Okay. So meditation, when you stay focused on a blue dot. So meditation, of course, is different for everybody. Everyone's going to have something that works for them. Um, The one thing I can say is start by making meditation non negotiable, making that 60 seconds every day non negotiable. So then, what does that 60 seconds look like for you? Do you like music? Do you like someone talking, walking you through a guided meditation? Do you like movement? So it's yoga or moving meditation, Tai Chi. You have to determine what works for you. So, and you might say, well, how do I know if it's working or not? Because you'll have brief glimpses of calm, right? And then when you're done, when you come out of it, you'll notice the day you're a little bit more through the day. I'm not saying you're gonna still feel, you're gonna still have all the same emotions, but there's a difference. There's a you feel a little bit more in control when you do it. And that's going to tell you, okay, that meditation that I'm doing is working for me. That guided meditation, or just listening to the music, or just listening to the bowls, or whatever it is. But you really have to trial and error it. It's not something that it's a one size fits all. And you might say you might love some of my meditations, and then at some point you might be like, you'll come across someone else's meditation and that's really going to hit the spot. Great, you grow.
I think that's a great way to say it. Especially like everybody has a different like learning style, or even like the way that they tactile want to receive information.
Mm-hmm.
So they want like visuals, or they want like auditory, or maybe they want something calm, or something that like really like scratches their brain, something like that.
For me, chanting is key. Like, chanting was a game changer when I found it. At first, I was just listening to the chants. And then when I started chanting, I was like, oh my God, this is changing me. Like, I went from just chaotic to it will just now, like, if I don't have time to do my full 1 hour practice, I know that I can put on a 10-minute chant and that will get me exactly where I need to be. So, but that was trial and error for me, and that took time. Am I supposed to imagine that the whole time, or a quick image? It's up to you. Like, if it's feeling like work, like my mom will do my meditations all the time, and she'll be like, that was too many lights, like that was too much imagery for me, like, and she'll be really like raw and like, I need you to
Wow.
not do this or do that, which
Such
is
feedback.
yeah, she's always giving me feedback. But here's the thing. It's super helpful for me. Like, when my mom tells me something now, I'm just like, okay, I hear you. Like, she's like, it's super helpful. I need to pull back, and even if I'm intuitively seeing something, I need to chill with it. So my point to you, Chris, is imagine it, and then if it goes away, just sit and listen. Like, what do you desire? If you desire to see that image again, then see it. This is the great thing about meditation. There's no rules. Don't make rules, because there are no rules. The only rule is that you commit to doing it every day. That's it. So there's sometimes because I do Kundalini yoga, and sometimes in the yoga class, I don't do it. I'm just lying down. I don't want to do it. I need to be able to say I can't today. And so I don't, because it's your practice. There's no rules. We talked about this last week, always thinking you can do all things.
You don't. There's no trophy for being burnt out. There's none. I've looked for it and it doesn't exist. All you get is health problems, hormonal imbalance, nightmares. There's no trophy. You should never brag about like how busy you are or how you can do all the things. That's patriarchy trying to put more work on you. You don't need to do all the things. You need to do the things that make you survive and your loved ones survive.
There's no trophy for, what did you say? There's no trophy for doing all things?
Yeah, there's no trophy for doing all the things.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, come on. That needs to be on a t-shirt. So one of the topics we were gonna bring up tonight was how often is your phone on Do Not Disturb? The dinging made me think of it.
I know. I actually don't know how to turn off the dinging on my new computer. Like my phone's
Oh yeah,
on
it's connected.
silent, but it's connected to my computer, so I don't even know what's dinging.
Oh my god, it's so appropriate. It's
I'm
so
really good at
appropriate.
technology.
We'll figure it out for next week. But that was one of the things I wanted to bring up is how often is your phone on Do Not Disturb? Your phone should be on Do Not Disturb at least 60 seconds every day for your meditation. Chris is telling you to go to your settings.
Yes, give me some tech support.
Hold
'Cause
on.
I'm not that smart. Go to your settings.
Hey,
Like the settings of my whole computer?
is it a Mac or
Yes, it's a
okay,
Mac.
I'm on a Mac too. Hold on, I'll go to settings right now.
So if
System
I open
settings.
messages and then I go to the settings,
Let's see if it's
notify
in
me. How about not
no
notify me at all?
how are you in notifications?
I'm in messages and then general settings.
Oh, because there's a notifications too.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to.
Allow notifications when the display is sleeping. Allow notifications when the screen is locked. Allow
Okay, I think I turned
notification.
it off. I just turned off all. Okay,
I mean, this show
thank
is
you. I
just
really appreciate the tech support. Yes, turn off notifications.
all right. Look at
Perfect.
we're helping each other in more ways than one.
See, this is why we need more women. Help me.
Well, we
I'll
just
share
did
whatever I
solved it.
know.
Okay, so let's ask that. How often is your phone on Do Not Disturb? How often do you allow yourself to put the phone on Do Not Disturb and do something? Walking, even if it's doing your dishes. Like, how often do you do that? If you're not doing it once a day, maybe that's something to consider. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to encourage you to do that.
That's good homework. Between now and next Tuesday, how about we find some time, not just when you're unconscious, not just when you're
Right.
sleeping, but sometime when you're conscious to put your phone on Do Not Disturb and not have that input into your brain, all the notifications and
Mm-hmm.
distraction.
And I mean, obviously, when you do your meditation, you want to put your phone on Do Not Disturb. But think about finding time every day to do that. That'll be really, even if it's just 60 seconds.
Yeah. Also, not work related because I'll do it when I'm working or if I'm teaching a live class or something like that. I'll put it on Do Not Disturb so it doesn't pop up constantly, but separate from that.
100%. That's, yeah, separate from sleeping, separate from working.
Oh my gosh, I love Chris. So Chris feels like a firstborn female ADHD who probably should go into healthcare. Like I relate to her brain so much.
I'm always on the phone trying to learn new
Him, her,
things.
they, that. I don't know, but Chris, I relate to your brain.
So, what do you do about that? What do you guys do with that?
You put the phone down. You put the phone down.
There's not a pill you can take, or
Oh, I'm sure there's drugs, stimulants, Adderall. Yes,
no, that was a joke.
plenty of drugs out there, but that's not going to help you in the long term. It's not going to help you to create habits. You create the habits.
Yep, it's a good point. Well, I feel like we covered a lot of good stuff tonight.
Yeah, that was really great. And we have homework for next week.
Homework is how often are you putting your phone on Do Not Disturb? See if you can do it every day, minus work, minus sleeping, even if it's just for 60 seconds. So good show tonight, Meg.
Yeah.
Always bringing the wisdom and compassion. And thanks to you guys for being a part of this community that we're wanting to build, a place to support each other. So tonight, before you go to sleep, find 3 things you have to be grateful for. And most importantly, see if you can remember to thank Spirit for continuing to show you why you are here on this planet in these moments. Because remember, good things still happen. Okay? So we're going to be back next Tuesday at the same time, and we will leave you with this. Thank you, Meg.
Thank you. It was nice to see you guys.